Welcome everyone to the very first episode of Chopping It Up here on the Coalition Radio Network. This is the show for and about restaurants and other food service businesses to help build us up and build us into a true community. I thank you all for joining us tonight, and my guest tonight is Alyssa Fusco from US Foods, who's going to speak about what the company is doing to help local businesses strive, thrive, and grow even in this pandemic. So, welcome,
hi, everybody.
Alyssa.
Thanks, Mike, Alyssa, for having me.
Absolutely. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what your job entails at US Foods?
So I'm a local sales representative for US Foods. So my territory is mainly Central Rhode Island to Northern Rhode Island, and everything from some healthcare services, local restaurants can be our customers, and education as well.
So with that, what do you view in the pandemic right now? What is the biggest hurdles you're dealing with in your job, and how are you working to grow through it?
So right now, it's very shaky ground, I guess you could say. I feel like nothing is set in stone. Everything is changing day by day. And I think that's the hardest part, is to really understand what's happening and also be able to change quickly with it.
Do you feel like the company you work with is well equipped to do such a thing?
Absolutely.
Being such a big size. Yeah. So why don't you explain what exactly are some great services you have to offer over at US Foods that might set you apart from others?
So at US Foods, I think we have done an extremely great job working with our customers, as well as just industry people in general that aren't our customers, through our website, which I can actually share with you. Can I share my screen?
Yeah, I think so. There's a button on top.
Perfect. I'm going to do that. There. Perfect. So I don't know if can you see my screen?
Yes, I can.
So on our website is a great tool just to use to better educate yourself in what US Foods is doing to really help people through this pandemic with resources and other great tips and tricks to really get people through this tough time with these changes that are implemented. It seems like almost every single day. We do have a really great resource through our online platform that anybody can check out at usfoods.com. And I feel like there's some great tips about just US Foods in general, our services, what differentiates us. And honestly, this is a great example of what differentiates us is our online platform. I'm going to stop sharing.
So what are some of those services you're speaking of that could really grab somebody's attention?
So right now during the pandemic, we've really seen the influx of just technology in general, whether that be through online ordering, your own personal website for customers to go on, even things like Google My Business, stuff like that. Those have definitely become, I think, more valid in today's day and age, and it really builds a presence online, especially when people aren't seeing you face to face due to capacity issues and things like that. And it also really strives your brand. And I think, I want to say it's honestly been over the past 6 years. So US Foods has done a lot with partnerships over the past 6 years. And we've built many partnerships with third parties that are available to our customers with your customer number to get you some great discounts, and also build your partnerships with things like POS systems, online menu building, and websites, all kinds of stuff. So yeah, that's really great.
So what are some of those partnerships you guys have?
So we work with, I don't know if you've ever heard of Bento Box. Bento Box is a newer company, I want to say. And
Website design,
they actually, Yes, website and design, and they only work with restaurant owners. So all
Yep.
of their customers are restaurant owners, which is a great thing. And we also have a partnership with Toast, which is also a POS system that was designed by industry people. Um, and they are absolutely crushing it. It's like a cloud-based system, which is very 2021. And they're a great partnership to have as well.
I know you guys also offer your own consultants that work with the restaurants. So why don't you explain a little bit about what their roles in the company are and for their customers?
Yes, so nationwide, we have a specialist team, and on our specialist team sits The Rock, which is our restaurant consultant. Out of Southern Connecticut, where I'm based out of, it is Charlie Santa Cruz, and he does a really great job of working with restaurant owners, our customers, potential customers. He can give any kind of information, whether it be about a CARES Act or working with a restaurant owner to really figure out their food costs, their online platform. He can really kind of step in and help wherever it's needed. And you can just book on his calendar for a 45-minute free session when you're a customer with us.
I will say I actually had a conversation today with Charlie, and it was a great conversation. And having
Awesome.
that tool was a great thing, because usually bringing in consultants are not cheap, they're not easy. And it was definitely a great tool. I mean, I will admit I am a US Foods customer, so that's kind of why I listed this here today, because it's somebody I know and trust and knows what's going on in the industry today. But I could definitely speak to Charlie, his abilities too. So why don't you tell us about trends that you're seeing in the industry right now and going forward?
It's actually really funny you say that because I feel like they change every day. But it's the ones that I think make an imprint online that is what I feel is going to really solid, like moving forward. And what I see right now is definitely ordering online for takeout and delivery, without a doubt. And also shareable plates. So I call them like it's almost like an a la carte menu. So it's shareable
Yep.
plates that you can actually like share with a group of people if you're out to eat with some drinks. I started to see that the entrees for dining in are kind of dying out. It's more of like shareable meals
I did
and
notice. I
really,
did notice that too. I would say I definitely noticed
yeah,
that in the last 6 to 8 months, and probably even the last 3 or 4 months before COVID, that was starting to die out, entrees. So I'm glad I'm not the only one that's seeing that trend. Have you noticed even
no,
the tapas appetizer things growing even in the COVID era, with
a
dine-in
hundred
dropping so
percent.
drastically?
100%. And I also feel like it has to do with people are just really thriving for an experience right now, just due to the fact that we've been on our couch for so long. So we're just really trying to have any experience we possibly can. And I think the whole tapas thing is a really great social experience as well.
Now, when it comes to appetizers, I mean, I know I've been looking into it. That's one of the biggest trends that a lot of restaurants are going to see grow in the next year or so. What do you view as a couple of the hot appetizers people might want to look out for? They might want to look to see if their local restaurants are grabbing those. So, what do you think is going to be the big ones that come out of it?
Boy, I honestly have so many that I can think of. So definitely any kind of like fried vegetable, just because people want still like a veggie option with, of course, like a batter or something like that with it. A fried veggie option, just fried anything in general, anything small size that's poppable that you can really just kind of share with anybody. The main thing why I feel like people are going to more appetizer and tapas is because it gives people more of a choice when they're eating. You don't have to really deal with that whole, oh, I got an entree and I'm not a fan of it, so now I'm not going to eat it and I'm going to make something when I get home, or I'm going to make something else because I don't like what I just paid for. So I feel like the whole appetizers tapas style menu also offers something to a customer where they have more options to be satisfied.
True, and I think it's a great way, I think, for restaurants to grab a hold of people by doing different options. I think that having where you can two or three appetizers, you're going to have a much different sense of people's appetites by doing that. I think the fried veggies are big. I wonder, do you view that people are going to get sick of fried food soon, or wanting to get back on that health kick, or do you think it's kind of here to stay as the strongest part of the appetizer segment?
So I do believe that the fried food is here to stay, but I also think that people are going to start like watching what they eat, and especially like I feel like a lot of people, myself included, have definitely gained weight in this sort of thing. So I feel like people are definitely going to be like on a health kick, and that's why I kind of say like a more veggie option too, as well as plant-based. I'm also seeing plant-based stuff pop up a lot now.
I mean, even Rhode Island,
All
we have
about like
restaurants
hitting your
popping up.
macros. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's actually
I
kind of
mean, what do
crazy.
we 2 years ago, what did we have? Two, and now we're up to 5 or 6, and they're growing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so I think
100%.
plant-based is a big one. What do
And
you
I think
feel?
affordable plant-based is most important too.
Well, yeah, I definitely think that that's something that will grow that segment a lot. Because right now,
Mm-hmm.
running a plant-based menu is insane. I mean, I helped open up PB Bistro in East Greenwich, and I know food cost was astronomical. And I think it's only going to be over time as people start to buy more, you can see the prices drop. And maybe it can lead to other things dropping in prices because demand will drop. I mean, we can talk about
100%.
pork prices are out
100%.
of
And it
control
would be
right
less
now.
as a premium.
Yes. How about desserts? Do you guys carry a lot of dessert lines?
Yes, so it's funny you say that. I actually was with a friend over the weekend, and I noticed that DoorDash and the third parties kind of lack with desserts online. So I feel like there's definitely a segment for desserts because I feel like people definitely are looking for them. US Foods does do a great job of desserts, especially pre-made ones that is easy for any operator to kind of whip up in the back of the kitchen quick, and it tastes like somebody just made it from scratch in the back.
I will admit, I think online a lot of restaurants are lacking desserts. I'm just as guilty as most. But I do view. I always wonder with the desserts and the delivery how those are going to work if people are going to really jump into it because of fear of a lot of desserts are chilled or refrigerated, and when you're especially using third parties like a Grubhub or DoorDash, and Uber Eats, sometimes even the hottest food is going to the people cold. Do you think that is also a hindrance towards people going with dessert for delivery?
100%.
Speaking of those third parties, how do you feel about them in the industry? Do you feel there's a space for them? Do you believe they're bad for the businesses, or do you view they're good and they're reaching out to people that you would never reach? I had this
So
discussion
I'm
earlier with
very
somebody. I'm
mixed.
trying to fear.
I'm very mixed with them. I also feel like in the same and like you said, they're here. We have to like kind of get to know them, but also it's a huge liability too with somebody handling your product.
Hmm.
So as an
And at a
operator,
fee
if
that
you
they
are
charge.
using exactly, it's hefty in a lot of ways. Um, I do believe that over time we are going to see the fees decrease from them because they're going to have to at some point. And I also believe that if you are an operator, you have to take the right precaution with leaving them essentially with your brand and your product in their hands. You really have to take the extra step for packaging. And that includes like tamper proof bags, tamper proof packaging, tamper proof labels to really make sure that your brand makes it home to somebody's couch in 30 minutes intact and they're happy with the end result.
Do you view that during COVID, you've seen your chemical sales skyrocket? Because I feel like chemical sales and cost have skyrocketed lately. And is there anything US Foods is doing to
100%.
try to mitigate it?
So I will tell you right now, I want to say it was probably in May. PPE was extremely hard. Manufacturers were having issues, aka we were being shorted product. We couldn't get it to consumers, which was a massive issue. Everybody had this hiccup. There was a reason why you couldn't find it in Target or the Stop and Shop or whatever. And I feel like we have done our best to really help our customers get product in hand. And we've also done the due diligence of having a full line that can really fit any operator and any need that they really have, whether that's I want to say K57 or K49. It's like a peroxide spray that has like a 7-second kill time on COVID.
Okay. Do you feel like have come down and the supply has come back up?
100%.
Do you foresee any issues in the future about it, as where, you know, possibly could hit another wave of this? Does the company do you know if the company is getting ready to, you know, stockpile it to make sure we don't run into that issue again?
So I know for a fact our buyers, since they've already experienced kind of what was going on, they know how to take the proper precautions to make sure that things like that don't happen again. But I will say, due to demand issues, you're always going to see supply chain break. And I know we saw it with like COP items, the like first couple of months of COVID. And currently I feel like we're starting to see it with plastic, like processed plastic for takeout items. So if anybody is listening and in the restaurant industry, owning a restaurant, works at a restaurant, make sure that you guys are stocking up on to-go equipment.
How about we were talking about online ordering. Do you guys offer any connections to any online ordering platforms, any online ordering services aside from Bento Box?
So we actually work with Chow Now. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of Chow Now. So Chow Now started pre-pandemic. It was actually solidified 2 weeks before this all went down on March 13th. We actually solidified. So we've always had a partnership with Chow Now, but Chow Now and DoorDash actually merged. So it used to be a pickup service through online, like you've definitely seen it on Google. It's like that blue
it's on the
order now
by the
button on
business.
Google. And they merged with DoorDash right before this happened. So Chow Now, the delivery service through Chow Now is actually through DoorDash.
Okay. What do you view as a couple of big benefits dealing and if the customers will be buying from U.S. Foods versus all the other competition in the area?
100% our technology and our partnership. I stand by that to the fullest because I feel like we have invested so much in COVID relief and with our partnership even pre-COVID, as well as our technology online. And I really do believe that is the future, and that is one of those things that's going to be solidified during all this technology. And I truly believe that we are like the pioneer in technology, and we are the best.
How about local sourcing? Do you guys have any effort into local sourcing? So I know you guys are in Connecticut, where you're buying from Rhode Island, Mass, Connecticut, New York to keep everything close and local.
100%. And actually, you can see things that are locally sourced on our website. Anything that has a certain icon next to it, so it would be a house that's locally sourced, shows the customer on an online platform that is a locally sourced product.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about what it is you have to do to become a customer with U.S. Foods, what the process is?
So I think the best process is if you know anyone, number one, that's using U.S. Foods and you're interested, definitely have the person you know contact their rep so their rep can contact you, like a referral base, as well as you can put in a customer inquiry on our website, which is usfoods.com.
What about if they were in the area where you're located? Is there a way for them to reach you so we can kind of bypass all the, corporate BS of it all?
Yep. So people do call into our distribution office all the time. And the
Yep.
people that answer the phones, which is our sales coordinators, they actually are able to get in touch with like the district manager wherever that customer will be located, and that district manager can assign them a rep.
Okay. So when it comes to, we were talking about trends, is there any trends you're seeing dying out now in 2021 that were big 3-5 years ago that people might want to, if they're operating, try to back away from to, step forward into the future?
It's funny you say that because I feel like that's happening everywhere. So I think, the big menu that overwhelms everybody, that's gotta go. I think that's
Yeah.
a huge one, actually. I think,
I think we know some places. Might be sitting one.
yeah, like, and I don't think it's a horrible thing. It's just an old way of thinking. It creates a lot of weight. I
Yes.
also think, people that are not using technology as well as social media to draw in a crowd is also doing themselves a massive disservice. So I feel like people that do not have a presence online, that really needs to change to help yourself as well as like your staff, your business, everything into the future.
Do you feel like the restaurant industry is poised to bounce back strong in second half of 2021 and 2022? Or do you feel like we're in it for a little bit more of a longer haul?
So I really do believe that this industry number one strives on a couple of things. So I think it really depends on disposable income, people wanting an experience, whether that is you're having, I don't know, people over, you're having a date night in your house, you want to order out, you have the ability to order out, or it's your birthday weekend and you want to go grab brunch and you want to like have fun. I feel like brunch is a huge trend, number one, but it's, you're really, what you're seeking is that like sitting at a restaurant, passing like small plates, drinks, apps. That's the experience you want. So I feel
Do
like it
you
really comes down to disposable income and experience.
do you believe that a lot of restaurants need to refocus on the experience delivery wise as opposed to just throw it in a box and send it out?
100%. And I feel like it has to do with really carrying your brand to somebody's couch. You have to create that experience somehow.
And is that something that US Foods is focusing on currently?
Yes, we have done a lot with packaging. We actually carry tamper-proof labels, tamper-proof bags, tamper-proof containers.
Everything,
You name it.
huh?
Yeah, we have a container or bag for every single customer that's really wants to create that at-home experience. Whether make sure it's safe too, but make sure that the food gets to somebody's house all in one piece and is edible.
Now, do you think the idea of ghost kitchens is going to greatly dampen regular brick and mortar restaurants in the next few years?
I don't think it's going to put a complete damper on it, but I do believe that it's going to be a specific niche within the next couple of years. It's going to create its own little industry. And I do believe that people are going to still seek that out of your house experience, but you genuinely need to have an experience that differentiates yourself from your neighbor.
What about the food truck trend? Do you think that's here to stay?
Yes, and I believe that's here to stay because when we can leave our house and kind of enjoy life again, so to say, I do believe that the food truck people are like diehard food truck people. I do a lot of business with local food trucks. And let me tell you, they have their own kind of clientele, and I think that clientele is here to stay.
Do you think that business is booming, especially in this era where, you don't have to have a sit-down restaurant? You can kind of go to the people and move around. Do you think that kind of fits the
100%.
world that we have today?
Yes, and I
Do you
think it
feel...
also creates...
No, it also
Sorry,
creates
my
what?
thing is lagging. My thing is like lagging. I feel like it really creates like an experience that's safe too, because everybody can spread out.
Yes. Do you view that we're going to see regular dining by the end of summer? And do you feel your customers are ready for that?
That's a great question. And I feel like we will see outdoor dining, but I do not think we're going to see the full experience of indoor dining, unfortunately.
Do you feel if it does open up, are restaurants ready after sitting a year plus unable to do it? Do you think it's kind of a need to kind of kick it into gear and figure it out? And do you think maybe there's no more normal experience dining in?
So I do think for anybody who is listening that does want to have an indoor dining experience come summer or fall, definitely start working on it now. Start brainstorming, start redoing your menu, tweaking where you can, and really finding that niche within your own personal brand of what you want to kind of show to the customers when they come back to really hold on to them.
With your restaurant consulting and everything, is that something that they're starting to work with customers on, is trying to reimagining what this year's indoor dining is? Is that what they're seeing, or is it a little too early for that?
I feel like I know for a fact, because I know Charlie personally, but I feel like we are definitely trying to talk and show our customers what they could be doing to really help their business reopen indoor dining, or whatever that may look like for them personally, because I do know like every single customer is different. But we are doing what we can to work with the customers to really help them envision their next step in all of this.
With everybody taking a hit the last year and a lot of places closing down, do you view those spots are going to be refilled come the next 18 months with new things to make the industry more exciting here in Rhode Island and Mass?
Yes, I do. And I think the concept in these places are going to be probably different than what it was before. I think you're going to start seeing a lot of ghost kitchens popping up, people blacking out windows, like looking all sketchy. People are going to be like, what is this? But nope, it's just a ghost kitchen. I feel like those are going to
we're
be
having our
popping up in those
conversations.
places. Yes.
I feel like we're having the conversation in the restaurant about it. I agree. I think ghost kitchens are the big thing. I know you said it's going to be a niche. I think it's going to be a lot bigger than a niche. I think it's going to be the next big thing. I mean, I just know from my own research the last few days that people don't realize how many places are starting to pop up for ghost kitchen locations. I mean, we have, the cloud kitchen people over by the mall, and they're pretty much got all their places rented out now. I think a lot of established brands are going in there too.
Yup. I think the ghost kitchen thing in general, you're going to just continue to see pop up. And I know with US Foods, we're doing so much when it comes to ghost kitchens. There's webinars you can join. There's consultants that you can speak to. You can even put in a ghost kitchen inquiry so we can help you jumpstart your ghost kitchen business. Like, you name it, we're really trying to help you do it when it comes to ghost kitchens. And the best thing about ghost kitchens, there's little to no risk. If it doesn't work out, you just throw it away.
I will attest that US Foods is definitely big into it. As I said, I was talking to their restaurant consultant today, and we spent 45 minutes discussing some ideas I had. So, I mean, I can say their focus is very heavily on that. I think that's actually really good to see, because I think that's where our industry is going. I think brick and mortar buildings will survive. Your dining experiences will survive, but I think it's going to be a lot easier to pull off the ghost kitchen things, especially in a climate of possible great increase in minimum wage, where having so much staff is not going to be the most feasible thing for an industry that's already running razor thin profit lines. I think that
150%.
And I think when you have experiences with customer service reps like an Alyssa or other ones that are in all the other companies, they're great to have because they can kind of give you the experience that they have and the experience their other customers have. It's not always just about selling things. It's about the whole experience and making it work. I think that even in the food service sales business, there's been a major change in the last few years from the pushing the product and typing in an order to building the whole experience and a whole connection with the customers. And I think that's kind of something big that's going on. And I think that, the bigger companies have realized it, and that's where they're investing a lot of money into it. And I'm going to say U.S. Foods is definitely one of them. Where it's not just we're supplying you paper and food. Now we're supplying you an online ordering system and a website and marketing tools and menu design and consultants and all these things that everybody needs, is kind of creating the one-stop shop that when you're running a business,
so you hit the nail on the head. You literally hit the nail on the head. You said it. It's a one-stop shop. And it's really to just build a connection with a customer where you can genuinely help them from the ground up. And when that customer wants to expand, you could put their idea in a box and drop it anywhere. So I really think that is what we do. And that's always been our goal and our mission. And to be completely honest with you, this whole COVID thing, like, we were ready for this like 3 years ago. So this really did just jumpstart our conversations with our customers to be more futuristic, because that's where our company is going.
Do you view that anybody who's kind of left in that wake are going to be hurting in a year when they're still not using a POS system, when they're using antiquated sales? There's no delivery, there's no third-party sourcing. Do you view that that's something people need to really take a step back and say, let me take a day or two to really look into all that?
So I do think that those people are going to have problems, sadly, moving forward. And I do believe the reason that they're going to have an issue is just because our online, like, this thing in our phone is no joke. And I feel like moving forward, it's really going to make their brand irrelevant online. Therefore, it's not going to be so in your face like all these other brands that have online presence.
And do you even yourself notice when you go to a restaurant when it's not kind of up to date, kind of wondering, hey, how can I help them? Let me talk to them about trying to help them grow it, whether they're a customer or not?
100%. And I just think it's due to the fact that whether we like it or not, it is the future. But like a lot of those great like mom and pop shops, they have great food. So you really want to help them get more with the technology and more with the times, because at the end of the day, they have a great product that people should know about.
I agree. And I think that, I can speak from my own experience dealing with you, is kind of, let me show you what's going on and trying to build it, because it's taking it from here was the early 2000s to try to putting it into 2021 days. And I got to say, U.S. Foods definitely did do a big step of doing that. So,
100%.
I think that just speaking for myself, it did it.
Yeah, I really do think you said it. It's more of taking somebody and putting them into the now generation. And then it's actually not even about the now generation. It's more like 2025 at this point. Yeah.
Yes.
So I really do believe that, working with you and working with other people, we kind of do have all this, we have all the same mission, and it's to really just bring your brand to the next level.
Do you view you're going to see a lot of new local small group not franchises, but like restaurant groups popping up? I know we have a few here, but do you feel like there's a lot of groups that are going to start pouring out and kind of jumping into the different markets and then different niches?
Yes, I do. And I think that the people that have really like nailed technology, or at least like moving forward to nail technology, they are going to continue to do so. And I think that they're really going to showcase doing that by expanding.
Do you view that these new groups that could come out, is it going to be more of a one owner with 10 different concepts, or one owner with 10 locations of the same concept?
I feel like both are definitely going to happen regardless. And I feel like just because there's obviously different operators out there, but I do feel like no matter what it is, expansion is the goal in a lot of people's minds right now.
And it's kind of the perfect time in a way. People don't realize, but it is. Do you view, with the changes going on in Rhode Island, do you view that people are being optimistic, willing to spend the money, willing to invest in their businesses, thinking that we're on the downslope of all this?
So earlier you mentioned like something about time, like just people taking the 5 minutes out of their day to like do the research and look what's going on. I feel like it definitely starts with that. And I really do believe that moving forward, it is going to be money. Like it is going to cost money. Everything costs money, but at the end of the day,
spend money to make money.
What is that return going to look like? Like what you have to, yeah, exactly. You have to spend money to make money. So if I were having a conversation with a customer or somebody wanting to be a customer, or just anybody in general, I would say if you're going to put any money into anything, make sure it's in something that is relevant to your online presence. And I say that because your online footprint is now the footprint that everybody sees before they even like come in contact with your brand face to face. So just make sure if you're investing in anything, it just be your online profile or online presence or online website, online ordering, whatever that may be.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think online it's not a fad. It's something here to stay. I think it's the only way you can really grow your business now is online. Do you view we're going to see a lot more online options popping up, more third-party sourcing because of that? Or do you view more of a
Definitely
consolidation coming? Do you view a consolidation of the three major ones possibly happening?
So if I were to say my personal opinion, I think Uber Eats, I think they are going to phase out. Just because I don't believe that they have the technology like the other ones do. I think DoorDash is going to actually end up crushing it. And it seems like DoorDash has the technology. They have the right people in place to really make change happen, because I also think the third parties changes are going to take place. It's just a matter of when. And I think DoorDash is going to be able to pivot and really figure it out. And I do think the ones that are on the rise are definitely ones like Slice. We're going to see like more niche ones coming into play. And trust me, Mike, honestly, you've taught me so much about Slice. And I feel like just the information you've given
platform.
Me about Slice, I've been able to give it to my customers.
It's amazing where I got into it on the right time. But it's something, if you own a pizza shop, you got it. That's really not going to cost you anything right now. And the fact is that they're partnering with Barstool, they're partnering with Fox. They're really hitting the sports market is what I'm noticing, which is a big pizza market. So, I think these niche ones are going to do really well if they can keep their fees and costs low. I think the fact is Grubhub and DoorDash and Uber Eats, somebody's going to price themselves out of business. And I just always say Uber Eats, where they kind of always fell behind everybody. Do you view that these third-party sourcings are great, especially Grubhub or DoorDash, are good for those people who haven't really joined the online world, and it's their way to start instead of just jumping headfirst into something?
Yep, and I do think you're right about that, because at the end of the day, kind of like put your toes in the water. You kind of can like test the waters out, see what you're in for. And I think it
Yeah.
really does give the operator a great opportunity to have things like online ordering, delivery, and things that they've never had before. And it shows them like, hey, this is here and this is here to stay, and this is how many people are going to order off of it. So I think that's really important.
Do you think they're going to have continued growth in the next year, or do you think they've kind of plateaued themselves out the third-party groups?
Nope. And I honestly think they have not plateaued at all. And if anything, I think they're going to be growing over the next 5 years.
What do you view as another big thing people, potential customers or customers you have, need to really look at besides technology going forward to not just stay relevant, but grow and keep it going?
I think definitely quality. Quality has never died. Quality hasn't gone anywhere, even with the technology, the third parties, and everything in play. Quality is definitely like overall the best thing that somebody can have. But I also think to back up your quality and to even get it in the hands of the right people, it really has to do with your branding.
Branding is important. Marketing is important. And again, that ties into social media and the technology, and it all kind of is one big cycle. So, listen, why don't you just give us one final sales pitch of why a potential customer should try U.S. Foods and what the benefits are for the company,
I think a potential customer can definitely benefit from just our partnerships in general, our technology, our ways of working with our customers that are absolutely free to you, that can really help you get more engaged with your customer base and grow your attraction to your own personal brand. I think that's just as important. And I also think that US Foods does a really great job with really offering everything, a little bit of everything to every kind of customer, because everybody's different at the end of the day, but we're all trying to do the same thing here. And everybody's just trying to stay alive and keep their brand alive and keep their customers happy.
Well, thank you, Alyssa, for joining us. Thank you for joining us on the very first episode and being the first guest. I want to thank you. I want to thank the Coalition Radio Network for this shot. And I will be joining you guys next week, 8:30, Tuesday night. Thank you for joining us on Chopping It Up on the mighty, powerful Coalition Radio Network.